Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. I started a series of videos where I take 10 rocks, common beach rocks that anybody can find, and I bring them in here and I cut them in half so we can see what's on the inside. And then I'll make cabochon out of each rock, and then on the next episode I'll show you the cabochons from the previous episode. So I got 10 rocks here that just were in the water like 2 days ago. So let's move the camera around. We'll take a closer look at them. So here's the 10 rocks I picked out for this episode 8. These rocks are from a beach in Herbster, Wisconsin. I'll put a pin below in the description. So if you're ever up here or if you live up here, if you want to check it out, it's a public beach. Nice little beach, got a lot of rocks, got a little park across the road. It's kind of cool actually. So we'll start at the top and work our way around. So this one here, I believe it's a granite because it's got the feldspar. Looks like mica and quartz, except it's like really chunky. Get it wet here and take a look at it. So you can see that it's got big chunks. That'll be an interesting cut. This is a piece of chert. And usually I don't pick up the chert because it's pretty plain, but sometimes you can get lines or fortifications inside of them and you know, not wildly different colors than what you see, but a little different. We'll get this one wet. Well, usually the chert up here is this kind of a, I don't know, mustard mixed with mayonnaise. I have no idea. So we'll take a look at that. Here we got a migdaloidal basalt with big chunks of, I think it's calcite. But you never know when you cut these things open. There's could be a lot of interesting stuff inside, or it could just be basalt. Get this one wet. Now you can see it's got a little green going on there with the white. So, yeah. It's a piece of granite. And this Herbster Beach, there's a lot of granite there, all different colors. I didn't find any black granite. I was kind of looking for that, but I picked up quite a few pieces of that. We'll get this wet quick. This got a nice quartz vein running through it. I like the color. Got some chunky qualities, and should make an interesting cut. It's another piece of granite. Got a little more yellow, yellowish white going on, and not a lot of mica in it. So that, I'd like to see a cabochon made out of this. This is a piece of gneiss, and I'll put the spelling down below. Actually, I put the full name of it. It's called, let me look at my book here, granitic gneiss. So because it's got granite in it. And I kid you not, I'll put the name. You can look it up and check it yourself, but that's what it's called. You can see the bands running through it, little granite, feldspar and stuff on top. And sometimes this shines pretty good, but we'll find out for sure. Another piece of granite here. You can see the sparkle from the mica. Get it wet. Kind of a whitish theme going on here. All right, this is a piece of quartz. And I picked these up because when they're wet, it looks like there's actually something inside of them. And some of them have some really nice patterns or feathering or mossy look on the inside. And this one looked like kind of dark in there. Get it wet. So we'll have to cut it open and see what kind of surprise, if there is any, on the inside. This is a piece of migdaloidal rhyolite with prehnite. And I love these things because the prehnite Usually it has copper in it, and I just like the bluish greenish color of prehnite. It looks really nice in a cabochon. And this one looks like it's got a lot of it going through it. Hopefully it's actually going through it, not on the surface. And there's that wet. Nice big blotch right there. Okay, now I saved this for last, and I don't find these very often, but this is a nodule, an agate nodule that came out of basalt and hasn't broken open yet. They look like little red potatoes up here. I know there's some other colors. Now there's some fortification or lines. I don't know if we can see that. Probably not here. There's just a little bit right there. Now usually I don't cut these open. They always go in my agate jar, but I am really curious what's on the inside of this. We'll get it wet. So I'm hoping it's full of agate goodness. I have no idea. That's why we're going to cut it. So there you have it. 10 rocks we're going to cut in half. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're good. So let's go downstairs and slice them open and see what's on the inside. All right, we're down here on my 10-inch high-tech lapidary saw, or slab saw as I call it. Got the 10 rocks over here. Dressed my blade, so let's start cutting. So we'll start with this one here. I'm just going to take them right down the middle. Alright, let's see what's hiding in this amygdaloidal basalt. Ooh. Kind of interesting. Got a nice crack going through there, a couple I see. No agate activity. We'll look at that closer upstairs. Okay, now we got this hunk of granite. Got a little pink going, a lot of black. Now I'm going to take it right down the middle. Right. It's kind of busy interior there. Cool. Another piece of granite. Here we go. I like the quartz vein running through it. I'm going to take it down the middle. All right, let's see if the inside is as interesting as the outside. Kind of like that. Got a little crack going in that side there. Yeah, should be able to do something with that though. Really curious to see what's going on in this this piece of rhyolite here. We're going to take it down the center too. All right, I'm kind of excited about this one. Yeah, I think this one here probably does go deeper. So when we make a cab, it'll probably be on this side here. We'll see. All right, here's a piece of chert, and I'm going to run him down the middle too. See if we got anything interesting going on in here. Got some little color pattern variations and stuff in there. Yeah. Okay. Got the old surprise quartz here. Let's see what's hiding inside. Go. Got a little dark spot going on in there. I mean, these things really kind of surprise you when you make them into cabs, so maybe we'll be surprised. Okay, got a piece of granitic gneiss. I'm going to take it right down the center, right? Just like that. Okay. I like that. I think I can work something good with that. I got this chunky piece of granite here. I think I'm gonna take this end off here on this one. I imagine the inside's probably going to look like the outside, but I still think it'll make a nice cab shot. Yeah. Okay, got this nice yellowish looking piece of granite. I'm going to cut it like this. Let's see if it's still the same color in the inside. Go. It's got kind of a white interior, so it's kind of got, I don't know, a rock sunburn, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of neat. All right, been saving this one for last. This is an agate nodule. I don't know if there's any lines in it or not. We're going to find out together here. I'm going to split it lengthwise, just like that. Hopefully get 2 cabochons out of this. We'll see. All right. Fingers crossed, here we go. Kind of split open on me in the last second there. All right, let's see what happens. Ah, look at that, fortifications. Yeah, now all you folks out there have seen me actually cut an agate nodule in half, which I would normally never do, but I would do it for you. So we'll take a closer look. I'll cut that little knob off in the bottom there. That is awesome. All right. Now, I get a lot of questions about how I cut my rocks, what I determine. So generally, on this series here, I'm going to split it lengthwise, because these are small rocks, and I'll be lucky to get two cabochons out of that. Now on a bigger rock like this, I could slab this, and I know it's going to be what it's going to be like in its side, so I'll cut the end off of that, and then I can get a nice big cabochon out of either side. And then a rock like this, like I said, 2 cabochons if I'm lucky. I'll split it down the middle and work with what I got. The other thing I get, some folks ask, think I'm gonna cut myself on this blade. This is a sintered diamond blade. The metal holds the diamonds, which the metal wears away. The diamonds do the actual cutting. And this thing is not sharp. I'm rubbing my hand on it right now. It don't even cut the glove. So you can see right there. So there is no edge on this to speak of whatsoever. So when I'm cutting rocks and my fingers are close, I'm not going to cut myself. I guarantee it. And the other thing is I run this at 7 times speed. So when I'm cutting and when I start to cut, I crank it up to 7 times, because some of these rocks will take like a minute or 2 to cut. I mean, you could go out and wash your car, walk your dog, all kinds of stuff. Well, I don't want to bore you with that, so I blow through there at 7 times speed. So, but I do really appreciate the comments, and I really appreciate the questions. So keep asking if you're not sure about something. So let's go upstairs and take a closer look at these guys and see what's going on. Okay, we're upstairs. Got a bag of rocks here. Let's spread them out and see what they look like. So here are the 10 rocks that I cut in half downstairs and brought them up so we can look at them a little bit here. So in not any particular order, we'll start looking. This is a piece of granite, feldspar, mica, and quartz are the ingredients, usual ingredients for this. This one, I picked it up because I like the darkness, or the dark spots. I thought it would make a good contrasty cabochon. And it's not too bad. It feels nice and smooth, nice smooth cut. And I kind of like the spots. Hopefully we'll polish up nice, and I'll try to pick out a cool shape for it. Okay, this is this big amygdaloidal. I was kind of hoping there'd be some agate stuff going on inside there. You know, let's get her lined up right here. It's quite busy on the inside. Got a big old crack running through the middle of it. That's what usually happens to the beach rocks. But that ought to make a neat cabochon. We'll see that next week. It's a chunk of granite. Looks kind of coarse granite. And I just took a little wing off the end here because it's pretty good size, and it'll pretty much cover any cab that I make out of this. Just mixture, chunky ingredients. Okay, this is a chunk of chert, and usually I don't pick this up because it's pretty blah. And I was kind of hoping it didn't have a lot of openings, but I can see one right there. And I can see lots of little spots, impurities or bubbles, gas bubbles, wherever is in there. There's a little color shift kind of right in the middle here. So I'll see what I can do with this. Sometimes you'll pick these up and they'll actually have fortifications or lines running through them. They're quite cool that when they're like that. It's another piece of coarse granite. I was kind of hoping this quartz line running through there, I would be able to do something with that. It does look neat, but there's a big honking crack running right through the top of it on both sides, so I don't know if I will be able to cab through that portion of it. But the upper portion looks interesting enough. I think if I get the right shape in there, it'll make something neat. Almost looks like smoky quartz there. Okay, granitic gneiss. I learn something new all the time. So this is a piece of gneiss. Now I'll put the spelling down below again. And I liked it because it had that pinkish granite, and then it had the stripes running through there, the dark stripes. I don't know if I'll make something like this diagonally or crossways. I haven't decided yet. Nice smooth cut. I've done some. It shines okay. I don't think we're going to get a glass finish on this, but it'll be good enough. A nice little yellowish looking piece of granite, the mica and quartz. I was kind of surprised the white had a white center almost, and it was just kind of yellow on the outside, so that might make a nice contrast if I can cover the whole end of it from end to end when I make the cab. This one here, I like it because it had all this prehnite going on in it, and I was kind of hoping this one would go deeper into the rock, but it did not. But it's all through there, and it seems like it was nice and solid. I didn't see any pits or cracks in there, so it should make a good solid cabochon. I'll probably do this side here, and hopefully this prehnite is down inside a little bit. Get a good gob of that there, because a lot of times, you know, you're kind of hoping to make a cab out of this portion here, but by the time you grind it to a dome, all this is gone. I've had that happen to me before. I've had my hopes up, and it just gets all ground away while you're doming. But yeah, I always liked the prehnite. It's just pretty. I've had it from light blue all the way to deep green, everywhere in between. Little quartz nodule here. I find these a lot at the beach at Herbster, and sometimes they got a really neat inside. Sometimes they're just quartz. So this has got some dark stuff going here. If I make a cab, I'll probably use this side here. But usually these shine really nice, like almost wet shine. I say that now, but when I make the cab, it'll probably be like an okay shine. We'll see. And then finally, got this little agate nodule here. And usually, like I said, I do not cut these because they always go into my jar. And these are, you don't find these. Usually they're broken open or all chipped up. But this one was a whole nodule. And I cut it open, and it had fortifications in it. You can see them right there. So this is a Lake Superior agate. Usually they're reddish brown. They do come in other colors, but this is a normal color here. It would have been nicer if the lines were a lot whiter, but I'm not complaining. This is awesome. So you guys got to see me cut open a Lake Superior agate nodule, something I would never do, but I thought it would be kind of a neat thing to do. So one of these sides I'll make a cabochon out of, and hopefully the color gradients or the fortifications will show really good in that. So I'm kind of excited about that one. There you have it. This week's 10 rocks. And then next week, on episode 9, I'll make a cabochon out of each one of these rocks to show you. So you got to watch me cut 10 common beach rocks. Anybody can find, even the agate nodule. Somebody else could have found that. I just happened to find it first. Everyone's unique and different, and they'll make good cabochons. So I'll make cabochons out of those, and you will see those in the next episode, episode 9. So now I got cabochons from episode 7. Try not to get confused here. So let's take a look at them, and you see that I actually do something with these common beach rocks. And here are last week's rocks in cabochon form, or last episode, episode 7. So I'll put a link up on top, up here, I don't know where, I think it shows up there. With you click on that and it'll take you to episode 7. Now I'm going to show these in order that I cut them. So we'll start with this one here first. This was a piece of amygdaloidal basalt. Had some calcite or breccia or something running through there. It looked kind of neat. That's why I picked it up. I was kind of hoping it went a little deeper, but it was only the tip and one scratched through the side here. Here's the cabochon I made out of it. So I got a good chunk of the breccia. Had some neat, interesting little gobs of crystal and this other stuff here. Shined pretty good, especially this top part here. The basalt shined okay. You can see it's kind of a little edgy down there. There's the back. There's the front. And there's the other half. All right, the second rock I cut was this piece here. It looked like a mica mix type deal going on here with some quartz and feldspar, maybe quartz granite. I'm not positive on that. That's the inside. But it made a really pretty cabochon. There's cabochon. Nice and shiny. There's the backside. Now I don't polish the backside, I just smooth it out and cut the edges here. There's the front side. There's the other half. That was the second rock. This is the third rock I cut. This one was quartz and it had feldspar crystals running through it. Like right there. And I thought that would make a really interesting cabochon. Here's the cabochon. And I got some of the epidote crystals. Epidote. God, feldspar and rhyolite. Those are the two words that are always in my brain for some reason. Those are epidote crystals, the green ones. I think that's a chunk on the bottom. I'm not really sure. I don't think it's basalt or rhyolite. There's the backside. Got a really good shine out of this one here. Get a good look, close look at the crystals there. Epidote. There's the one half, and there's the cab I made out of it. Okay, the fourth rock I cut, I didn't have high hopes for this one. It had no, like, sometimes they'll have just a little shine or whatever, just from being rolled up and down the beach. And this one is pretty rough for being a beach rock. Try to get it. I probably picked it up because of this green stuff here with the red. Well, here's the cabochon I made out of it. I'd say the shine's okay. There's a lot of rough spots. This whatever this stuff is here, epidote breccia, I don't have no idea. That shined okay. The rest of it, so-so. A few little crystal-looking spots going on in there. There's the back side. There's the front side. And there's the two together. So I didn't have high hopes for this one. All right, the fifth rock I cut was this piece of granite right here that had the dark bottom on it. And granite usually, try to stay in focus here, gives you a decent shine. See a little feldspar splash in it right there. So I thought this came out pretty good. Nice shine on it. Even got a little feldspar flash right there. Back side, front side. There's two halves together. All right, I was excited about this one. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the sixth rock I cut. This had a big gob of hematite on the bottom, and one of my viewers actually chimed in and said when you grind hematite, it turns red. The water turns red, and the water actually was kind of a rusty looking color, but it was just so weird. When I put on the grinding wheel grinding it, it was just a red stream of rusty looking water coming off it. It was just crazy. I think it had quartz in it and some other stuff. But here it made a beautiful cabochon. You can see the hematite on the bottom. I've never found a rock with a big gob of hematite on there like that. I've seen it in layers and speckles and stuff, but this is the first one that actually had a gob of it. Shined up pretty good. There's a couple spots in there that the shine's okay, and there's some that's just exceptionally, but just the fact that you had a big gob of hematite on the bottom is what made it cool for me. So there's the half. There's the cab. All right, this is the seventh one I cut. Big chunk of granite with lots of feldspar and quartz in it. You can see the feldspar kind of giving off its little glimmer there. It's the cabochon I made out of it. Shine's pretty good. I've had shinier. Oop, come on. You can see a little feldspar glint in there. There's the back. There's the front. And there's the two pieces together. So this is the eighth one I cut. I didn't have high hopes for this one here. This is a piece of jasper, and I think this is prehnite. It had a lot of fractures in it, especially right around where the prehnite went through. But it made a really exceptionally pretty cabochon. Now it's still got some fractures in it, but I'm not complaining. So there's the cabochon, and there is the other half. Okay, this one here, this is a piece of rhyolite, and you don't find it beach worn where it's almost got a shine on it like that. And I was kind of hoping this penetrated into the rock farther, but as you can see, it anyway on this side I only went in, and I didn't cab this side because I had all these little looking crack thingies going on in there. So I did the other side, and it shined spectacularly. I mean, it looks like glass. Look at that. That's just crazy. And then I think that's epidote, crunched up epidote with something else mixed in with it. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. And then it did break on me. I had a chunk come out. This was much longer and a little fatter, and I had to modify it a little bit. But still, there they are. Okay, and last, this one right here. This was amygdaloidal with some epidote running through it. I don't know what the dark stuff was. And I was hoping it would be really pretty on the inside. It is kind of pretty, but I've had prettier rocks with epidote in them. So this is the cabochon I got. I didn't get a supreme shine out of this. On the epidote, it's not bad, but the rest of it, it's kind of spotty on the finish, especially right through here. And it's got a little dimple in it right up there. But tried to get the epidote to go across best I could. There's the back. There's the front. And there's both halves. All right. So next week, the rocks I cut this week will be in next week's episode. So there you have it. These are from episode 7, I think. I gotta start making notes here. I'm getting confused. Well, you saw me make some beautiful cabochons out of common beach rocks that I found on the beach, public beach. Anybody can find them, and they do make pretty cabochons. So let me know what your favorite is in the comments down below. If you'd like to see one in a different shape, or I don't know, any suggestions fine. I try to read all the comments. So I like to thank my subscribers. I really appreciate you coming back and watching this content. It just makes me feel good. I think I've said that before, but it does. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. When you're down there subscribing, you can slide over and give me a thumbs up. And if you want, you can share it with your friends or family or whoever. Maybe they'd be interested in seeing content like this. So next week, got some pretty cool rocks coming up. I think we're going to do some from that were picked up in South Dakota. It's something a little different than the beach rocks. So thanks for watching. That's all I got. I'll catch you later.